beloved members of UEF, esteemed panelists, and respected guests. It is my honor to welcome all of you to this interactive session on artificial intelligence. I wish to thank all of you for your interest in today's session, and especially the speakers and panelists who have accepted our invitation and are present here to share their experience and knowledge about AI with all of us today.
Don't leverage the 1 and 2, the power of 1 and 2. That's the point I wanted to say. All the evolutions happen to these three waves or cycles.
What is the future of Indian IT services companies? That's part one. And part two is, what kind of companies do you see emerge out of India with the new way of AI?
AI in your organization, okay, and with respect to the strategic objectives. So can you give some examples of how it impacts the business?
Thank you very much, Mr. Yusuf, for that glorious introduction. I don't think I would have done a better job myself, to be honest. So we have three business areas in Arcadis. There is mobility. Mobility, we know it's all about airports and railway stations and whatnot. And we have places. Places is all about buildings and infrastructure and all of that. And resilience. I mean, all of these sectors Mr. Suresh touched upon. And the most important thing that we've done very, very early on is that we recognized a fourth service sector called as intelligence. I think Mr. Suresh spoke about it a lot. And the way we see intelligence, which is AI, we all know, it's not a separate sector on its own right. It's in the DNA of the company. So it is mobility plus intelligence, it's places plus intelligence, it's resilience plus intelligence. So 25-year experienced expert, when he joins hands with a 23-year-old dynamic AI expert, that's when the magic happens. I mean, when somebody asks what is the future of our children, that's the future of our children. You know, when experience and technology comes together, that's when we get integrated solutions, we get data-driven adaptation and continuous innovation. So a lot of companies here, I think my one piece of advice would be to look at your organization and see how you can understand the process of how it flows and bring in technology along with it. Mr. Yusuf told me to speak about one or two examples. One example that comes to my mind is how we use AI in my main core, that is program project management. So what we do is we collect a lot of data, which is like risk related, change related, scope related, and all of that. And what we do is we use that to do better forecasting of our projects. So for example, if a client comes in and says that we need to build a data center or a gigafactory, we are ready. When we can say that it can be built in 236 days, these are the weather conditions on these months. So there will be a break there because it's all because of AI. Another product that comes to my mind is we have something called Bridge Health. So we use drones which fly over the bridges. They look at the wear and tear of the bridge, and then the AI kind of predicts the life of the bridge and things like that. So these are some of the things that we are actively using.
Interesting. When you are talking about this, I just read about last week I heard that Google has released a new AI platform called, I think, Open Building, 2.5 dimension, I think, the temporal data. They are claiming that 32 million square miles of data of Africa and Southeast Asia, 8 years of data. So how the buildings are changing, height is increasing, new buildings are coming. And this is a huge, I mean, with this data, we should be able to do the crisis response, environmental study, whatnot. Okay, so I think that's where the things are moving in your industry.
I founded India's first online education portal, or rather co-founded, egurukul.com, 25 years back. Forget internet, even desktop, PC was, not penetrated, had not penetrated as much. From there, it's been a full cycle today. We spoke about predictive analytics, computer adaptive testing, and all that. We were too ahead of time, all right. But this ahead of time today with AI, while we think it is ahead of time, by the time we have even understood what 3.5 can do, you have a 4. By the time you finish what 4 can there's a 4 turbo, okay, there's a 4 mini, and now they have come out with something which is 10x and 100x smarter than the ChatGPT 4. So that's the speed at which we are moving. Today there is no business, alright? Right now I'm just completing a book which is expected to be launched in the next fortnight on the role of generative AI in the Indian judiciary, alright? We have a Supreme Court judge and a Madras High Court judges receiving this, and the book release is scheduled for about 10 days from now. The reason why I'm saying is there is no domain that can survive without using AI. Having said that, there is one big fear, I would call, AI vanda ellarkum vela poiduma. There was a time when people said you have to learn computers. Today if you look at any job advertisement, it says computer skills, MS Word, Excel, PowerPoint mandatory. It will be AI skills mandatory, that's it. So are you a lawyer who knows AI or who doesn't know AI? Are you a chartered accountant with knowledge of AI or without, knowledge of AI? This is how things are going to transform. There is no space, forget the sophisticated healthcare, edtech and all that. Very, very small things. For somebody in brand marketing, okay, communication. Today if you know AI, your job is 40% lesser. But you need to know how to ask it. You ask it garbage, it gives you garbage. Yeah. So that's the fundamental. It is transforming every way. I'll just give you one example before I hand the mic over back to the moderator. One company that I'm working in, we are developing a Gen AI enabled spectacles for the blind people. Okay? You wear the glass, it has a camera, it can tell you that there is a meeting going on, so many people are sitting here, and if you have already saved faces, it will say that Yusuf is sitting on your right, Naveed is sitting on your left, okay? And it can read newspaper for you in real time using a bone conduction technology in about 88 languages. Okay? The nearest competitor is Google's product, okay, which is selling at about 3,800 USD onwards. Ours is 35,000 Indian rupees. We've sold 20,000 in our first year.
How important is the data and its quality and managing the data, successfully implementing the AI solution. What could be the best practices in terms of if somebody wants to embrace AI, for example, in any of our UEF members, they need to think of it. What could be your suggestion from the strategy part? Everything is revolving around the data. The data is the main thing, which is driving that business. So with that, I will.
If I'm permitted to add something here, way back in 2011, apart from one thing, probably I wouldn't know whether Yusuf consciously forgot it or didn't want to mention. I play another role. I wear a hat of a political strategist. All right. I used to be I used to be advising Madam Jayalalitha on her political strategies, and I've been running ADMK's elections for about 12 years. I ran the 2011, 14 and 16 elections, where you might have heard of the Modia, Ladia campaign. Those are all my campaigns. Right? So we did some data, while we're talking about data strategy, okay? We were very early in implementing a few AI models, like sentiment analysis, okay? And all that at that point of time, using very primitive natural language processing, models that were available at that point of time. You'd be very surprised, as he put it very correct, data is available plenty in the market today, okay? Data is available in plenty, but how do you make meaningful connections with this data and draw proper insights in order to draw a strategy towards achieving the organization's goal? That is what a data strategy is all about. We came to a conclusion that any voter or anybody in the age of 36 to 42,
round of applause for the audience. Awesome. So, from morning we've been hearing a lot about AI in various terms. All I could hear is what Jeff Bezos told us during the 90s and 2000s these three words as foundational guiding principles or foundational things to build a business, which is faster, better, cheaper. Fast forward to 2024, that's what AiAiyo is actually doing. Faster, better, cheaper.
Almost every aspect of my business, right, has changed, whether it is programming, people writing copy, designers, people who advertise. So as far as, we do a lot of work with Meta, Google Ads and all that. That aspect has not yet changed drastically, although there is assistance that is available. But almost every single department in our organization has changed. As a business owner, one of the departments that I see some amount of resistance, it could be me as a leader lacking in terms of the implementation. I see the accounts department a little slower in terms of implementation. So nothing has changed in terms of the fundamentals. People will have to learn it. Everything has changed in terms of how you implement those fundamentals using various tools.
This whole lung cancer approach, we work with multiple stakeholders. We work with healthcare providers, hospitals. We work with pharma companies who are trying to market oncology drugs. Again, pharma companies are spending billions of dollars in clinical trials to come up with early stage cancer drugs. One example is AstraZeneca, another example is Merck. So we work very closely with AstraZeneca again. So there's a lot of, again, marketing power behind these, pharma behemoths. So when we started back in 2020, there was a lot of opposition to our approach because it was against the standard of care. It was already well established that if it is going to be lung cancer screening, it needs to be only done by using CTs. So for us to power through with the approach that lung cancer screening can also be done using X-rays, we needed to do a lot of real-world validation studies. We needed to do these studies, we needed to do these deployments, the small pilots in hospitals globally, and we needed to publish scientific papers in peer-reviewed journals. So this actually happened over the last 2-3 years, right? And then when we started showing all of this evidence to healthcare providers, that's when they started being receptive about the idea. So I wouldn't say there was a lot of opposition because, again, there were so many interests involved from different sets of stakeholders. But because we were trying to challenge the standard of care, at that point in time, there was some opposition. But again, by using some evidence that we have generated as on date, we were able to overcome that challenge.
There is another program called Zoho. Zoho uses lots of AI. You don't have to be an accountant to use Zoho. I'll just give a small idea of how Zoho uses. You create, at the starting of a business is, you create a company name, the vendors, not about your company. You create a customer name. Okay, when you giving a proposal, you create a pro forma or a quotation or something. When the pro forma is done, the Zoho will automatically send a message or email to the client. And the client can accept the email through the same mail by click of a button. When it's accepted, it will automatically generate a sales order. The sales order will automatically generate an invoice. The invoice will go to the customer, and customer can see all the transaction in a private account. I mean, you will be given every customer will be given a private username, password. All those transactions, the particular transaction can be seen by the customer themselves. They don't have to check their mails. They don't have to go back and come from. They don't have to do all those things. Just check, go into their account, go to the Zoho account, and give whatever username and password have been given by you, and they can trace everything. Okay, once that is done, and if you're a big company, you have invoices over 50,000, and that from the same page you can generate a e-way bill. From the same page you can generate a e-way bill. Okay, then invoice is done, everything is done, the material is going. You can generate a click of a button, you can generate a delivery order, a delivery note. So the transaction is complete. When the transaction is complete, you will be receiving a payment. Even that you don't have to manually enter it. You just link your bank account to Zoho. Zoho will capture bank account every 15 minutes or every 30 minutes, depending on what time frame you give, and it will automatically match that particular amount. If just imagine you have sold a product to me and I'm paying 1 lakh rupees, or maybe I'm paying around 99,550 rupees. When this transaction comes, the Zoho will identify this transaction.
I have a small question to all the people over here. Now let's assume that in an Olympic relay race of 400 meters, 100 into 4, where do you think Usain Bolt will run? In the beginning or in the end? Where do you think Usain Bolt will run? Quickly. In the end. Well, lovely. Okay. Now let's assume that there is a match of IPL which is happening, and Dhoni, when do you think he will come? He will come in the beginning or in the end in the slog overs? Oh, that's great. Like that, the best is always reserved for the last, and we do have the best, our Usain Bolt of UEF, our Dhoni of UEF, who is going to give you some practical demos on how AI can be used. He's an international speaker, he's a Forbes member, he's an AI in fintech expert, he's an investment banker who helps companies to grow in a Sharia-based manner. The list goes on. I don't want to waste time. Without further ado, I would like to call upon our young member Gibran to take over and show what AI can do all about.
Hey ChatGPT, how are you?
Hey there, I'm doing great, thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm right now in a session doing a live demo of you to my audience. Without embarrassing me, can you help me with something which I can learn today and I can teach the audience?
Absolutely, no pressure. How about we explore how ChatGPT can help draft professional emails?
No, that's boring, Can you tell me something more interesting which the audience doesn't know?
Sure thing. How about showing how ChatGPT can help generate creative content? For example, we can
Boring
craft...
again. Tell me something I can learn for me which is not inclusive of ChatGPT and something on a day-to-day basis.
Got it. How about learning a simple memory technique? The loci method is an ancient technique where you visualize a familiar place, like your home, and associate each item you want to remember with a specific location within that place. It's great for memorizing lists or key points for a presentation.
Interesting. Okay, so my audience seems to be a little more serious and a little tired today. Can you give me a quick update on Tirukkural? I'm going to tell you one Tirukkural. Tell me what is the meaning of it. Okay, I'm bad at Tamil, but still, can you do it for me?
Of course. Share the Tirukkural with me, and I'll explain its meaning.
Okay.
I'm here to help.
Please don't laugh. Karka kasadara karpavai, katrapin nirka adarka taga. What's the meaning of it?
No laughing, I promise. This Tirukkural emphasizes the importance of learning. It means... Oh, sorry about that. Let me break it down. This Tirukkural means the things learned are the firmest foundation. It is the duty of one to conduct himself accordingly. It stresses the importance of learning and applying knowledge in life.
Great. So everyone is applauding. Everyone is applauding. Please thank them.
Thank you, everyone. I'm thrilled you enjoyed it.
Yay, great. Can you please do this in Tamil also, please? Can you just help them understand the same thing in Tamil?
உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் நன்றி. உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும்.
Continue.
Oh, sure. In Tamil, கற்க கசட கற்பவை. கற்ற பின் அது மாட்டாக நருந்துகள். அதாவது கற்றது வாழ்க்கையின் உறுதிப்படையாகும். அது அடிப்படையில்.
Okay. Enough. Okay. So I'm going to the next slide. Please be. So I think Suresh sir was speaking, right? Can you put the volume? So we thought that Suresh sir is speaking in a very nice English language. We thought let's present him to the Arabian market. So we made Suresh sir speak in Arabic.
جهة الاستهلاكية سواء كانت تكذبا كبيرا أو صغيرا لديك فإن النقاط للاستهلاك هي في الواقع هذا كل شيء.
It's a good. Arabic is very close.
اللحظة اللي يكون عندك فيها واجهة للمستهلك ما نكترث حتى لذلك حتى الصفحات نفسها لا تزال موجودة.
By the way, his lips also sing to it. You
إذا
cannot see
أرسلت
it.
إصبعك داخل المقبس فمن المحتمل جدا أن تضمن موتك فعليا ويمكنك أن تتسبب في حادث كهربائي كما تعلم بسهولة كبيرة.
Then I was like, let's have some more fun.
கலிபோர்னியாவை ஒளி செய்யும் அல்லது இது அனைத்தும் சார்ஜிங் பற்றியது. நமக்கு ஒரு இடைமுகம் தேவை. அது வர்த்தக இடைமுகமா அல்லது நுகர்வோர் இடைமுகமா என்பது முக்கியமல்ல. இது பெரிய மின்சாரமயமாக்கலா அல்லது சிறிய மின்சாரமயமாக்கலா என்றால் நீங்கள் உண்மையில் பயன்படுத்த வேண்டிய புள்ளிகள் தான்.
And this can be done with his eye contact to you, can be done with his lips speaking to you, and looks very original.
அதை பற்றி நாம் கவலைப்படுவதில்லை.
Number.
كيف نتنبأ بالنوبات القلبية؟ كيف نتنبأ بالسكري؟ خلاف كل ذلك.
He actually suits the Arabic culture.
أعتقد أنك قد قمت بنفس المشروع. نعم، لذا هذا موجود في جميع أنحاء العالم. أعتقد سواء كانت جامعة كامبراس أو جامعة مدراس، هذه مشاريع معيارية. أقول بخلاف ذلك هناك العديد من الابتكارات. كيف இதய தொல்லையை எப்படி கணிக்க வேண்டும், நீரிழிவை எப்படி கணிக்க வேண்டும், அதற்கு பின்பு சரி, ஆம், அங்கு சில பெண்கள் சிரிக்கிறார்கள். எனவே நான் நினைக்கிறேன் நீங்கள் இதே திட்டத்தை செய்திருக்கிறீர்கள். ஆம்.
Somebody asked you how was the session, what are you going to say? No. Wait. Whatever we say you have to say. Okay, for a minute I have done this for the betterment of audience. I wanted to replicate once again. Can you all close your eyes for 30 seconds, please? Just close your eyes for 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Open your eyes, please. Okay. And if somebody asks you how was the session, சொல்லுங்க மூடி இந்த எங்க கண்களை அவங்க திறந்துட்டாங்க சொல்லுங்க.
Okay. On behalf of the UEF board, I'd like to thank the Almighty who has made this event a great success. I would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you making this event a success with your presence. A special thanks to a keynote speaker, Dr. Suresh Venugopal. He has enlightened us with his opening session, explaining the basics of AI, but also taking us far beyond that. The insight we gained are truly invaluable. Thank you, sir. I would also like to express a gratitude to the panelists, Mr. Siddharth Kumar, Mr. Swaminathan Kalyanasundaram, for sharing a key insight on how we can leverage AI to create meaningful impact in our business. We now have quite a few actionable items on our to-do list. It was an amazing session. It was right after the opening session. A big thank you to the organizing committee members who played a dual role as both organizers and panelists. Thank you, Yusufbhai, Naveed, Khalid, Sheikh, Jubran, Fahim, and Nehiya.